Salvete omnes. This is Abbey Latin Liber Primus, Review 4, chapters 13 through 16. This is Morphology, exercise F. I'm going to change it up a little bit and jump to number 2. Prohibeo, prohibere, prohibui, prohibitus, in the second person singular. First, you must know those principal parts. Prohibeo, prohibere, prohibui, prohibitus. You then need to know that this is a second conjugation verb. You can tell by the endings of the principal parts. Eo, which gives us a long E. Ere, macron over that E. Letter I, pronounced E, and then us. Eo, ere, E, us. Second person singular. So let's walk through this. So, present stem is used as the base for the present, the imperfect, and the future tenses, active and passive voice. The present stem of a second conjugation verb is found by going to the second principal part and chopping off the RE. The present stem of this verb is prohibe, prohibe, and we're going to write prohibe in the present, imperfect, future, active, and passive voice, just like that. Now we're going to add the appropriate tense markers and personal endings, all of them second person singular, in order to finish off these verbs. The present tense just adds the personal ending os, t, mus, tis, und. So we want the S of the second person singular to get prohibes. You prevent. You are preventing. You are keeping someone away or keeping something off. The passive exchanges this active voice personal ending, this S, from ost, mus, tis, und, to the passive ris, tur, mor, mini, untur, so ris, prohiberis. You are being prevented. You are prevented. It is now happening to second person singular you. For the imperfect, we're going to add the tense marker ba, and then the personal ending s. So prohibebas. You were preventing. You used to prevent. And then the passive, exchange the s of the personal ending with the passive equivalent ris to get prohibebaris. You were being prevented. There's a being, Ben. Very important. Put this being. For the future, we're going to have the future endings bo, bis, bit, bimus, bitis, bunt. And because we want second person singular, we'll use the bis. Prohibebis. You will prevent. You shall prevent. For the future passive, we're going to exchange this active bis for the passive beres. Beres, not beres, but beres. The endings are bor, beres, bitor, bimor, bimini, buntor, so beres. You will be prevented. Okay, for the perfect, pluperfect, future perfect, active voice, the perfect stem is used. So go to the third principal part and chop off the letter I. Prohibu is the perfect stem. Then for the passive voice, it's formed from the fourth principal part. Treat it like an adjective of the first and second declension. So us, prohibitus, and because it's second person singular, we're going to keep it singular. Prohibitus, If this were a plural person, we would change these endings from this singular to their plural equivalents. Now we add the appropriate personal endings and tense markers, and also helping verbs. So the perfect endings are isti, it, imus istis erunt. So we have isti, prohibuisti, you prevented, you have prevented. Both translations are perfectly possible. The passive, prohibitus aum. The helping verb is the present tense of sum. Sum est, sumus estis sunt, so es. Prohibitus aum es, which stands in for prohibitus es if the subject is masculine, prohibita es if the subject is feminine, and prohibitum es if the subject is neuter. You, either masculine, feminine, or neuter thing, were prevented. You, masculine, feminine, or neuter thing, have been prevented. Pluperfect active has the tense marker era, and then we'll put the personal ending s to get eras. It is the same as the imperfect of sum, which we're going to use as a helping verb right here. The translation of the active pluperfect is you had prevented. And then, as I said, the imperfect of sum is used as the helping verb for the pluperfect passive, just as it is used as an ending on the pluperfect active. So, prohibitus aum eras. You had been prevented. You had been prevented. Future perfect uses the endings ero, eris, eret, ermus, eritis, erent. So we want eris, prohibu eris, you will have prevented. And then prohibitus aum, we use the future of sum as the helping verb, which is ero, eris, eret, ermus, eritis, erunt, unt, erunt. The helping verb is eris, prohibitus aum eris, you will have been prevented. Optime, the imperatives, imperative singular, is the same as the present stem. So second principal part, chop off the re, prohibe, prevent, do it, you singular person, to, you, tu. The passive is the same as the second principal part, so prohibere. Be prevented. Come on, you. Hurry up. Get prevented. Do it. The imperative plural, you add te, te, to the singular, so prohibete. Prevent ye. Come on, guys. Prevent. Keep something away from something. Come on, y'all. Ye. And then the passive uses the ending mini. Prohibemini. So present stem plus mini. Prohibemini. Be prevented ye. Do it. Come on. Optime. Very well done. That's it for number 2. Prohibeo in the second person singular. Now let's jump to number 1. Libero in the first person singular. So libero, first person singular. First you need the principal parts. Libero, liberare, liberavi, liberatus. This is a first conjugation. You can tell by the O, the are, the E, letter I, the E, and then the us. So the present stem is found by chopping the RE off the second principal part. Libera, the present stem. We're going to write for the present, imperfect, future, active, and passive. Libera, libera. The perfect stem, liberav, third principal part, chop off the I. We're going to write that for the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect, active only. For the passive, perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect, we're going to use liberatus. Liberatus. First person singular, so it's a singular person. That means we're not going to change the ending. It's going to be liberatus aum. us for the masculine, a for the feminine, for the neuter. Now wait a second, maybe you've already spotted it, but if we're dealing with a first person singular, we're not going to use the present stem for the present tense. We use the first principal part. Libero, I free, I set free. Liberor, you write libero, the first principal part, and then you add the r, the r of the passive voice. Liberor, I am freed, I am being set free. Now we use the present stem for the imperfect and future, active and passive. Libera bam, I was freeing, I used to free. Liberabar, exchange the M of the active with the passive r, the r, liberabar. I was being set free. The being is important, Ben. Kept on happening to me. Kept on being set free. The future, liberabo, I will set free, I shall set free. The future passive is liberabor, I will be set free, I shall be set free. Liberavi, the perfect endings are isti, it, imus, istis, erunt. Liberavi, I freed, I have set free. I did set free. Passive, liberatus aum sum. We use the present of sum as the helping verb. Sum, liberatus aum sum. I was set free. I have been set free. Happened in the past. Pluperfect, liberaveram. Perfect stem liberab plus eram, liberaveram. I had set free. Passive, liberatus aum eram. I had been set free. Future perfect active, liberavero, liberavero. I will have set free. Future perfect passive, liberatus aum ero. I will have been set free. Optime, the imperatives. Imperative singular, libera. Free. Set free, you. Come on, you. Second person singular. The passive, liberare. Be freed. Do it. The imperative plural and the active, liberate. Take the singular libera, add te, liberate. Free, ye. Come on, y'all. Free, set free. And the passive, liberamini. Present stem, libera plus mini, liberamini. Be freed, y'all. Get freed. Optime. Now let's jump on over to number 3. Narro, narrare, narravi, narratus. To tell, to narrate. You must know the principal parts. Third person singular. So in the active voice, a lot of T for the personal ending. OST, third person singular, mustissant. The passive, restur, more mini untor, a lot of tors, T-U-Rs in the passive voice. All right, present stem of this verb, second principal part of this first conjugation, chop off the RE to get nara, and write nara in the present imperfect future, active and passive voice. For the present, we have narat, he, she, it tells, is telling, does tell. Passive, narrator, he, she, it is told, is being told. It's present tense happening right now. Imperfect adds the ba, so narabat, he, she, it was telling, used to tell. The passive would be narabatur. He, she, it was being, the being is important, ben, told. The future active, narabo, I will tell, I shall tell. I'm sorry, narabit, third person singular, my apologies. Narabit, he, she, it will tell. Passive, narabitur, he, she, it will be told. The perfect, the pluperfect, the future perfect active come from the perfect stem. Chop the letter I off of the third principal part to get narav. So you write narav in the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect active. The passive, perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect uses the fourth principal part, naratus. Because we're dealing with a singular person, either masculine, naratus, or feminine, narata, or neuter, naratum, we can keep naratus aum. So go ahead and write naratus aum as the base for the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect passive. And then we'll add the helping verbs in a sec. So the perfect active, third person singular, the endings are I, isti, it. Imus, istis, ero. So we want it. Narawit. Narawit. He, she, it, told. We don't say telded. Told. Has told. Passive. Naratus aum est. He, she, it was told. He, she, it has been told. The pluperfect. Narawerat. Narawerat. He, she, it had told. They did the telling. And the passive, naratus aum erat. He, she, it had been told. The telling happened to them. Future perfect, narawerit. He, she, it will have told. The passive, naratus aum erit. He, she, it will have been told. The imperative singular of this first conjugation verb is the same as the present stem, nara. Second principal part, chop off the re. Nara. Tell. Come on, you, second person singular, to tell. In the passive, narare. Be told. Come on, get told. You, what's wrong with you? Hurry up. Imperative plural adds te, te to the singular. Narate. Tell ye. Come on, wos. You plural. Tell. And the passive, naramini. Get told. Be told, ye. Come on, guys. Get told. Hurry up. Haven't got all day. Optime, number 4. Video. First person plural. You must know the principal parts. Video, videre, vidi, visus. That eo in the first principal part gives us a long E, R-E. So a macron over this E, ere in the second principal part. Second conjugation, eo, ere, E, us. So the present stem is vide, chop the RE off of the second principal part, and we write vide for the present, imperfect, future, active, and passive voice, vide. The perfect stem will be vid, chop the I off the third principal part, vid. You can write weed, vid, as the base for the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect active only. The passive will use the fourth principal part, visus aum, but keep in mind, because we have a plural person, we were not going to use us aum, because that's singular. We need to use we see, letter I, we see, and then I, I-A-E pronounced I, and then letter A, We see, I, we see I and we see I for the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect passive. Here we go. First person plural. OST muss, tis und. MUS, muss, videmus. We see, we are seen. Passive, videmur. Exchange the muss for more. Restor, more, mini untor. Videmur. We are seen. We are being seen. It's like we are being looked at. We could also translate it as we seem, which is an active voice verb in English, but it's equivalent to being seen. If I seem to be something, or if I seem to be a certain way, then I am seen to be that way. Imperfect active, videbamus, videbamus. We were seeing, we kept on seeing. Passive, videbamur. We were being seen. The being is important, Ben. We were seeming. Future active, videbimus. Videbimus. We will see. Passive, videbimur. The future passive endings are bor, beres, betor, bimor, bimini, buntor. Videbimor. We will be seen. We will seem. Perfect active uses perfect stem weed, so vidimus, because the perfect endings are isti it, imus istis errand. Vidimus. We saw. We don't say seed. We saw. We have seen. Perfect passive, remember, it's got we see, I, and then the helping verb is the present of sum in the first person plural, so sumus. We see, I, sumus. We were seen. We have been seen. We seemed. Pluperfect active. Videramus. We had seen. Passive, we see, I, eramus. We had been seen. We had seemed. Future perfect active, viderimus. Viderimus. Passive, or I'm sorry, the translation, we will have seen. Passive, we see, I, erimus. We will have been seen. We will have seemed. The imperatives are vide, see. Passive, videre, be seen. Get seen. Seem. Plural, videte, see ye. Come on, guys. Look over there. See? And the passive, videmini, be seen. Get seen. Seem ye. Optime, vulnero, vulnerare, vulneravi, vulneratus, to wound. You must know the principal parts of this first conjugation verb. O, are, I, us. So second person plural. OST, mus, tis, und. A lot of tisses, TIS, in the active voice as the personal ending. And the passive uses ar, restor, more, mini, untor. So a lot of minis. The present stem will be vulnera. The perfect stem will be vulnerav. And the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect will use the fourth principal part, vulneratus, but in the plural, vulnerati, I. So the present, vulneratis, vulnera, present stem, plus tis, Ye wound. Y'all are wounding right now. Passive, vulneramini. Vulneramini. Ye are being wounded. It's happening right now. Y'all are being wounded. The imperfect, vulnerabatis. Vulnerabatis. Ye were wounding. Ye used to wound. You did the wounding. It's the active voice. In the passive voice, vulnerabamini. Vulnerabamini. Ye were being wounded. The being is important, Ben. You kept on being wounded. Kept on happening. It was a habit. Future active. Vulnerabitis. Vulnerabitis. Ye will wound. And then vulnerabimini is the passive. Vulnerabimini. Ye will be wounded. The perfect tense endings are I isti it, imus istis erunt. We want istis on the perfect stem vulnerab to get vulneravistis. Ye wounded. Ye have wounded. You did it. Passive, vulnerati ia estis. Ye were wounded. Ye have been wounded. You done got yourself wounded. Pluperfect active. Vulneraveratus. Vulneraveratus. Ye had wounded. And then the passive. Vulnerati ia eratus. Ye had been wounded. Future perfect active, vulneraveritis. Vulneraveritis. Ye will have wounded. Passive, vulnerati ia eritis. Vulnerati ia eritis. Ye will have been wounded. The imperatives will be vulnera. Wound, thou, you second person singular, wound. The passive, vulnerare, get wounded, be wounded. Imperative plural, vulnerate, wound ye. And the passive, vulneramini. Note that it is the same form as the present active second person plural. I'm sorry, right here, it's the passive. The second plural, present passive, these are the same forms right here. Mini, vulneramini. Context will tell you which one is which. Context is key. Text without context is pretext. Vulneramini. Be wounded, ye. Come on, guys, get wounded. And teneo, tenere, tenui, tentus, in the third person plural, this second conjugation verb with eo, ere, e, us. The eo as the ending of the first principal part triggers the long ere of the second, tenere, and the accent is there on that long e, tenere. So the present stem is tene. Perfect stem is tenu. And then the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect will use the supine stem, tent, with the us, endings, like an adjective added to it. Make sure they're plural, because this is third person plural. So tenti, I, and then the helping verbs. Let's get them. So tenent, tenent, they hold, they grasp, they have in hand, tenent. Passive, tenentur, tenentur. OST, mustis und, NT. Passive, raristur, morbini untur, untur, NTUR, untur, tenentur. They are being held. Imperfect, tenebant, they were holding. Passive, tenebantur, they were being held. The being is important, Ben. The future, tenebunt, they will hold. Passive, tenebuntur, they will be held. The perfect active uses the perfect endings isti it, imus istis erunt, tenuerunt, they held, they have held. Passive, tenti, sunt. We use the present of sum as the helping verb. Sum es est, sumus estis sunt, tenti sunt. They were held, they have been held. Pluperfect active, tenuerant, they had held. Passive, tenti erant, they had been held. Future perfect active, tenuerent, they will have held. Passive, tenti erunt, the future of sum is ero, eris, eret, eremus, eritis, erunt, 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 tenti erunt, they will have been held. The imperatives are tene, hold, singular. Tenere, be held. Come on, what are you doing? Get held. Tenete is the plural active imperative. Tenete, take the singular, add te, tenete. Be held, no, I'm sorry, hold, plural, hold ye. And the passive is tenemini, tenemini, be held ye. Come on, you guys, get held. Optime, very well done. That concludes Morphology Exercise F. You are now ready to move on to Exercise G, Syntax and Parsing. Valete omnes.